Gill Gross here for Action Network and day 5 best bets at the Australian Open. This is now third round action. It's where we really start to see the matchups go up a notch in quality. The first round where seeded players face each other. And one example of that kind of matchup is Hubert Hurkacz versus Denis Shapovalov. It is a pick'em. I like Hurkacz, minus 110 to win this match. We faded Hubie a couple days ago against Lorenzo Sonego, and although Sonego served for a 2-0 lead in the second set, Hurkacz came back to win that match in 5 sets. One of the reasonings for that is because Hurkacz was 0-6 in the second round of hardcourt majors, and psychologically, there was a lot of pressure coming into that match for Hubie to get over the hump. Well, now he's over the hump, so it's the same reasoning. There's going to be an exhale for him, and he should be able to play with a lot more freedom. Playstyle-wise, Hurkacz wants to counterpunch against pace. He is not a good creator. He is a very good deflector. That's how to look at his ground game, and pace is exactly what Denis Shapovalov gives him. Shapo is going to give him attack, and is going to kind of take the initiative and the points to try to create openings, and Hurkacz is going to be reactive and solid and use his movement and his counter punching to great effect. I think that is why we have seen Hurkacz win 3 out of the 4 previous meetings against Shapovalov, so we take him here. Another really big one that should be a good one, is Daniil Medvedev against Sebastian Korda. Korda coming off of the run to the final in Adelaide 1, where he almost beat Novak Djokovic, taking on the defending finalist Daniil Medvedev here. Blockbuster third round matchup. I was looking to get behind Medvedev coming into this tournament because I think he's undervalued in general after a 2023 that is very Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong did go wrong, and I think this is the first opportunity to get behind him here using the game spread. Medvedev minus 5.5 games over Sebastian Korda. Look, Daniil has crushed it so far at this tournament, winning a whopping 5 out of his 6 sets, 6-2 or better. And Korda is a guy who attacks with a lot of linear pace, especially on the forehand. It's a lot to deal with. He takes the ball early, he hits the ball incredibly big. It works wonders against a lot of opponents, but Medvedev absorbs as well as anyone. And the two things that bother Daniil, speed and crafty net rushing, not really Korda's MO. So I feel like Medvedev is going to control his errors a lot better in this matchup, be the more solid player, and his defense, I expect, will really bother Korda in a big way. And generally, it's a good idea to take match spreads, or game spreads, I should say, for Medvedev early in majors. Generally, he is absolutely ruthless in the first couple rounds, and he's kind of a blowout artist, similar to what we see with an Iga Swiatek on the women's side. Lastly, Mackenzie McDonald, after the biggest win of his life, plus 140 over Yoshi Nishioka. You don't love betting a guy after the biggest win of his career. It's not the best spot to get behind him, but you have to, because the revelation of the Australian Open conditions thus far has been the low bounce. These new Dunlop balls, yes, the conditions are decently fast, but that's not nearly as notable as just how low the ball is bouncing, the deadness of that bounce. And that favors the flatter hitter over the heavy topspin guy. Nishioka is the heavy topspin guy, particularly off of his forehand, and McDonald is the flat hitter here. So what did we see Mackie do against Nadal, who's a lefty just like Nishioka? He attacked Nadal into that lefty forehand, which is a spinny shot, and that heavy topspin, the courts just weren't rewarding it at all, and it was just creating sitting, attackable balls for McDonald to just continue to get into that pattern on. And McDonald's ground strokes, quite the contrary, flat, hard, deep, forcing Nadal to to hit from below his strike zone, because the combination of the flatness of McDonald's balls, the average low net clearance, and the low bouncing courts are making it so that when the ball reaches the other side, you're just not getting a comfortable ball to deal with. It's below your strike zone, and you have to hit up on the ball. So I see this as the same tactical pattern against Yoshi Nishioka that McDonald executed so well for the first set and a half against Nadal, even before Rafa's injury changed the complexion of the match and made Rafa non-competitive. So I think McDonald, who's had a lot of success in Australia before, he's made a 4th round at the Australian Open before. I expect him to actually follow up that huge win over Nadal and take out Nishioka. Enjoy the matches, everybody.